We actually started on the last Umuganda by just communicating the theme and sensitizing the people at community level, the impact of plastics, how can they help, the role they can play, and all this. During the car-free day on Sunday, we had a walk and we communicated the message to different people who were in the sport on the impact of plastic pollution and how they can also play a role in controlling the pollution.
All right, beating plastic pollution is this year's theme. What do you think this is a relevant issue to talk about, and could you help us understand the damage caused by plastic bags in Rwanda and elsewhere?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I would say the plastic waste is a global concern. It's not only for Rwanda. You know, as population grows, you know, shoppings, lifestyle changes, people opt to go for a better and convenient lifestyle. And most of it is just taking those disposable ones, use it once and dispose. But most of the time we don't think beyond the disposal point, where does the waste go? And that is the issue, because those plastics are not degradable, either biodegradable. So they end up in our waste, in our soil, ends up in our water resources, ends up in our drainage system. So it's like killing our environment totally.
So the use of plastic bags is already illegal in Rwanda and has come into force since 10 years ago. So what impact are we looking at, and what's the next step after all those consequences that it has had?
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's a very good question, and I always believe where there's challenges, you get opportunity out of it. Banning plastic use, especially in single use in plastic bags, it created the other opportunities, innovation, where people started thinking of alternatives, alternative packaging. We have, I think, three, four companies that are working on or have put up alternative packaging industry. If you go to different shops, supermarkets, you find they have alternative. If you visit our dry clean stores, you find they go to alternative. They no longer use plastic to cover the clothes. Packaging packaging of bread, they go to alternative. So those are opportunities that came up from the ban of plastic use. So it created opportunity to have green technologies introduced in the country. And on top of that, because it was a campaign really to ban the plastic wastes, or to try to reduce the plastic waste, some companies, like recycling companies, where we know we don't have alternative yet, and we are still using plastics, we introduced, six companies were born to do some recycling of plastics. So we see it as an opportunity, though it was a challenge, but out of it we got opportunity to create jobs.
How do you respond to complaints that this ban or these measures affect businesses and sort? What do you think? Are you mindful of the cost that comes with all these measures? Yes,
we are mindful. And I want to give an example, because the excuses has been always plastic packaging is cheap, you know, easily available. But I think you should be taken up with cheap things, because we need also to look at sustainability issues. And I always believe cheap things sometimes is very costly. And I want to give an example where you find where those technologies have been implemented that are not clean. Nowadays, because of pollution increase and climate change impacts, they have went back and start to close their business, close some industries. Example, in China, they have closed most of the industries that have been using coal. So we don't want, at a stage where we are, at the initial stage of development, we need to develop, taking a green path to develop, rather than developing using unclean technology, then we go back and close it. So the sustainability component of our development is very key. And that's how environment issues to be considered is very key, because we believe sustainability should be taken care of at the initial stage of our development.
Thank you very much. Could you give us insights into some strategies that you have in terms of protecting the environment other than ban on plastic bags?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think other measures is how to protect our other ecosystems, the biodiversity issues, how to promote the green mining issues. We know we have a mining industry, but we are always working closely with the mining industry to see how do we assess the mining activities, how do we promote green mining, and you have that component in your program of action. Key measures to be taken as you promote the mining industry. We have recently developed the strategic environmental assessment with mining policy, and we want to go further and see how they are complying with that. We have the environmental impact assessment as a compulsory for most of our projects, especially development projects. We have demarcated some areas, wetland policies and strategy that protects our wetlands to ensure that protection of our wetlands also protecting our ecosystems and biodiversity. So we have different measures. Of course, we don't work alone, but we work with other sectors because environment and climate change issues are mostly cross-cutting, but we work closely on the mainstreaming component in their policies and the plans, and we monitor how they implement the plans.